Hey everyone, real quick we're going to run through a moving average forecasting example. First we're going to look at a 3-period moving average and then we'll look at a 4-period moving average. So let's just say that on the weekends I have a taco truck, and over the last few months I have recorded the number of tacos sold, and I need to figure out or forecast how many tacos I think I'm going to sell in the month of November. So first I'm going to find my 3-period moving average. Now what I've done here is written n equals 3. So in the formula that we are given, our number of periods is 3. What's incredibly important is that means that you need to start with 3 months of data or 3 periods worth of data. So sometimes a good thing to do is to gray out these first 3 blocks. We'll go ahead and skip over to the next column where we're finding a 4-period moving average, and let's go ahead and gray out the first 4 blocks. We're not going to find a forecast there, but we need that data before we can get started. So going back to our 3-period moving average, the first forecast we're going to find is for June. We're going to use the data, historical data from March, April, and May to figure that out. So we want to start by clicking on that cell and we're going to enter in our formula. So to do that, we need to enter in equals. In our numerator, we want the sum of the prior 3 months. So sum of that range of data, that's our numerator, divided by n. And in this case, our n is 3. So C2. So push enter with me, and we'll see that in June, this forecast would have predicted that we sold 260. We actually have our sales figures, 268, but we could see that that forecast would have been pretty close. Now, real quick, I want you to try something with me. We're going to drag our formula down. So look in the lower right corner of that cell. There's a little tiny box there. If you hover over it, you can get this black plus sign. Click on that and drag your formula down. Let's see what happens. That didn't work. Now, why didn't this work? What happens? If I double click on that cell, I can see what information is input into that formula. Well, what I can see is that I didn't get that number 3. It moved down a cell. So if I want to lock in that 3, I'm going to click escape to get out of this cell. Go up and click on the other one. I want to lock in this 3. I lock in a cell using a dollar sign. So whatever has the dollar symbol in front of it is locked in. So I want to lock in the column, which is column C, and the row. So I need to move over in front of the 2, put a dollar sign there as well. Click enter, and I lock in that cell. So now if I go up to that 260 value again, click on the lower right corner, drag that down, I can see my formula carries with that 3 all the way down. It's good practice to double click on a couple of your cells and just make sure that the calculation is correct. So I can see that in November, my forecast says that I'm going to sell 293 tacos. Okay, now we want a 4-period moving average. So what's going to change? Well, nothing other than the fact that we now need 4 historical figures to run our calculation. So again, equals our numerator, so the sum, select your range. Now we need March through June. And parenthesis and parenthesis. I like to err on the side of caution and probably put more parentheses in there that are necessary, but I like to put my whole numerator in parentheses so that things don't get mixed up. Divided by n, our n value here is 4, but remember we want to lock that in, so dollar signs in front of the column and the row, equals 262. Now go ahead, drag that all the way down, double click on a couple of those, make sure that you have the appropriate figures in there, and we can see that with our 3-period moving average and our 4-period moving average, our forecasts are a little bit different. Both of them are still right, it's just based on a different number of periods used. Now, some other common metrics that we would want to find are the average, the minimum, and the maximum. So down here in the average, we'll start with the data that we have. So equals average, start typing what you want, and you can see exactly how much of the word you need to put to get the appropriate formula. We can see here that we need to type the whole word average. That's what's highlighted in blue below that. Now I want to select my data range. So I put my open parenthesis, click and drag on that whole range that I want, close parenthesis, equals. Now, more than likely on yours, you may have had a few more decimal places. Say it looked like that. Well, I can't sell a portion of a taco. So I want this in whole tacos only. So look up at the top here. I've got two different buttons, increase decimal and decrease decimal. I want to decrease the decimal places that I have so that I am showing whole numbers of tacos. Go ahead and do that if you need to. I also want to calculate the minimum and maximum on that data. So equals, again, start typing the word minimum, but what we can see is MIN is what I have in blue there, and that's going to return the smallest number in the set of values, which we know is the minimum. So I can stop after just typing MIN, then open parentheses, select the range of data, enter. 240 is my minimum. Now we don't have a whole lot of data here, so just glance up there and make sure that yes, that is in fact correct. Then the maximum equals max, open parentheses, select what you want, close parentheses, enter. 325, we can see that that's the max. Now I want these same values for my 3-period moving average column and my 4-period moving average column. So what I can do is select those three formulas, go down to the lower right corner, drag to the right, and I go ahead and carry those formulas over. Again, double click on a couple of them, check, and make sure that you are using the appropriate cells, which we are. So this was just a quick example of a moving average forecasting example. If you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to ask, and have a great day.